Oh, hello. It's been a little while since I've done one of these, so I thought since there's no game tonight and the 49ers didn't practice today and it's a Monday night game, I would do a little chat. And the 49ers signed a kicker today. They signed Matt Gay to help fill in while Eddie Pinheiro recovers from his hamstring injury. Man, my mom was even upset that Eddie Pinheiro got hurt. She's like, "What happened to Eddie?" I love that my mom is tuned in to all the 49ers news. So yes, my mama was like, "When did Eddie get hurt? What happened?" She lives in the Pacific Northwest, so I don't think she got the Niners game over there, but obviously staying tuned in to what is going on. So the 49ers did sign Matt Gay today. He is a little older. He is 31 years old. He went to Utah. He was a fifth round pick in 2019, 31 years old. He has had some good years and he's also had some not so good years. And this year is actually one of his not so good years. He's only 68.4% completion or success rate in field goals this year. He's 100% from 20 to 29. He missed one from 30 to 39. He's made five from 40 to 49, but they've put him out there a lot, 50 plus. He's only made five of his nine attempts. Sorry, he's only made four of his nine attempts at 50 plus. So he doesn't quite have the leg anymore, maybe as Eddie does, as we've seen from him. So it may be something where, yes, you've got a kicker, but if it's 45 to 49 yards away, maybe you go for it then. You go for a field goal at 49 yards and in because he's good there, but 50 plus, he has only made four of nine. So where Eddie has been sent out there 55, 56 yards, maybe you don't do that with Matt Gay. Maybe you go for it on fourth down. So this is something that Kyle Shanahan will have to take a look at when he goes through his game planning and when he's in games. He's going to have to think about whether they send him out for those long field goals or not. So he's generally not great in that 50 plus area. Back in 2019, he made five of eight. In 2020, he made one of one. In 2021, this is when he was a Pro Bowler, he made four of his five. The next year, seven of nine. And then in 2023, it went down. He made eight of his 13 attempts at over 50 yards. In 2024, he was with Indy. That's the second year at Indy. He made three of his nine attempts at 50 plus. So he was drafted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Then he spent 3 years in Los Angeles with the Rams, then 2 years in Indy, and then 1 year, half a year in Washington. And then he was released because Washington signed Jake Moody. And it's kind of this slightly incestuous thing that happens with teams where general managers go somewhere else, and it's Adam Peters going to Washington, D.C., and he knows the players. And so he knows Jake Moody and thinks he deserves another shot. So they bring Jake Moody in. Matt Gay struggled from 50 out. So, we'll see what happens. Do you guys have any questions? You don't think you've ever heard of the dude? Matt Gay? Really? He was with Los Angeles for 3 years and played the Niners. So I've heard of him. Moody Jr. Ugh, I gotta say, Jake Moody is a nice gentleman. He is very nice, and I know that he is actually really well liked within the locker room. And he had a rough patch. And honestly, the Niners gave him so much of a chance because they really did him wrong. The Niners did him dirty. They put him out there before he was ready. And as a young player, he was like, yes, I'll go out there. I'll do it. I think I can make it with my freaking high ankle sprain. It didn't work. And then it shot his confidence. And he told me throughout the entire year that, yeah, I could still feel it. Yeah, I could still feel it. Well, when you're a professional athlete and you are kicking field goals to help your team win or lose, probably should be close to as 100% as possible. So, yeah, I know Matt Gay has mids, but I mean, they got to have a kicker, and there's not much out there. So, and this is just because the Commanders released him. I was surprised that they didn't re-sign Anders Carlson. Anders Carlson is a guy who was with the Niners for 2 games last year when Jake Moody got hurt, and then, I think was it Anders Carlson that got hurt, and then someone else got hurt? It's like they went through 3 kickers within 3 weeks because the special teams coverage was so bad. Remember, it was whoever was the kicker for the Niners was out there blocking the returns, and then they got hurt, and then that's why Jake Moody went back out there so quickly. I think Anders Carlson ended up with a separated shoulder or something weird. But I just remember a kicker got hurt, and another kicker got hurt, and another kicker got hurt because their coverage was so bad. I think it's better now. Obviously, we saw a 98-yard return from Sky Moore, and then a nice, healthy, I think a 40-something yard return from Brian Robinson. So the special teams are getting much better, and we're seeing that. So you know, it's better. But I think what they had with Eddie Pinheiro is that Kyle felt confident, just like when they had Robbie Gold at 50 yards out. Throw him out there. He's going to be fine. Now, Robbie Gold was very, very accurate, but mostly from 50 in, just like Matt Gay. Eddie Pinheiro has a little bit more of a leg, so you can throw him out there at 50, 55, 56, and feel pretty confident he's going to make it as long as it's not blocked. Um, he hasn't been as great in extra points recently, but he's been great on field goal attempts. Eddie Pinheiro has. So Matt Gay, they needed a kicker. He's a veteran. I'm betting that the special teams coach was like, "Oh, I'm familiar with him. Let's bring him in. I get it. I know him. I know how he operates." So I'm betting that's why they went with him. I think for all of these things, coordinators have a big say in who they bring in when it's a position of, a specialty position like that. So I'm betting that's what happened. Um, it's sometimes it's just, the best person for the time being. Eddie Pinheiro with a hamstring injury could be out. He's definitely going to be out this week. He might be out 2 weeks. I mean, we saw George Kittle out for 5 games. We've seen other players out with hamstrings for 2 weeks. Bryce Huff was out for, I think, 2 games. Jake Brendel was out for 2 games. So there is a possibility he's only out for 2. So Matt Gay is on the practice squad, and it works where they can promote him twice off the practice squad and then revert him back to the practice squad during the week. So he can be elevated from the practice squad for game day, be the kicker, which is, I think, what's going to happen because he's practice squad now. They'll elevate him on Monday night. And then the next week, if Eddie's still not healthy enough, they'll elevate him another time. And then at that point, if Eddie's still not healthy, then they will either have to release Matt Gay and pick up somebody else, maybe like Anders Carlson, because I think the roster moving around, they won't have a space. They won't have space on the 53 for 2 kickers. So, kind of in the same way that they had Adrian Martinez as the backup for Mac Jones and had Brock Purdy inactive, they had to have him on the active because you can only promote a guy twice. So they had him on the active roster, and now they released it, or they waived him because he's a young guy. They waived him. He cleared waivers. No one picked him up. So then the 49ers can bring him back on the practice squad, which is what they did. So 49ers today signed Matt Gay, and they also signed a linebacker to the practice squad. Where is they? Let's see. They released Russell Gage Jr. and then they signed Stone Blanton to the practice squad. Stone Blanton is a guy who's kind of been in and out of the roster on the practice squad. I think it's just security because Tatum Bethune out with that high ankle sprain for at least, I would think, at least 2 weeks, maybe longer. I saw him walking out of the Arizona Cardinals visiting locker room, kind of howling around, full walking boot on, and then they gave him a ride all the way across the field to the buses. So let's see. Absolutely loved watching Carlson kick for the Niners. Didn't have to stand on eggshells. Well, I mean, that's what it's been like with Eddie Pinheiro, right? Hey, Cam. Matt Gay kicked 2 fourth-quarter field goals to erase 49ers lead and send 2021 Rams to the Super Bowl. There you go. So, yes, Matt Gay has had some success Cam Inman jumping in with these stats. Love it. Purdy's going to run up the score on some of these teams. Martinez will get some reps. I don't know. I would think Mac Jones gets in there before Adrian Martinez, just because that's the way it goes. So that is the news for Wednesday, and it is Wednesday. Tomorrow, they return to the practice field, so we'll see a practice tomorrow. Kyle Shanahan will talk tomorrow. We'll probably get more updates on guys who are injured, like Tatum Bethune. How serious is it going to be? How long is he going to be out? And then more on Eddie Pinheiro as well. I'm sure he had an MRI on his hamstring. We'll kind of know a little bit more. Um, I have no idea, Andrew. I wouldn't know. But I think George Kittle's completely right. The 49ers offense has to carry the load now. They've got almost everybody back. The offensive line is pretty much what they wanted, what they were planning on during the offseason. You've got Brock Purdy back. You've got Ricky Pearsall. I think he'll get more involved as time goes on. You've got George Kittle, and most of all, you have Christian McCaffrey. So this offense needs to put up, like they did in Arizona, 40 something points a game for them to carry the load, because without Tatum Bethune, we all love Curtis Robinson. Curtis Robinson is a fantastic, really, really smart player. And he's going to do a nice job in there. But there is going to be some acclimation period. There's going to be some adjustment. He hasn't worn the green dot. He hasn't been out there as much. He's been waiting for his chance to show that he can do it, which is fantastic. We all love Curtis Robinson. He was last year's Walter Payton Man of the Year candidate. He is a great leader. He is also the NFLPA representative in the locker room. He has a ton of support in the locker room. He's a really, really well-liked guy. This is just going to be an adjustment period because he hasn't done it before. So he's going to go out there and play the Mike linebacker spot. He's going to be the quarterback, making the calls. And I think what we saw from Tatum Bethune in his first start, it was tough. I mean, just getting guys lined up and knowing the call when you're out there on defense is a challenge. And so I would think that the 49ers offense is, like George said, hey, we've got to take the responsibility of scoring a ton of points, because not that they can't rely on the defense, but there are going to be some offenses that are going to be really tough to stop. And the Carolina Panthers are not exactly pushovers. They're going to take it's going to take some good defense to stop them. And we'll see if the 49ers can handle it without Nick Bosa, without Michael Williams, without Tatum Bethune, and I think most importantly, without Fred Warner. It's a big ask to have them out there. And especially when you look at the pass rush, it has not been great. They didn't get hardly any pressure on Jacoby Brissett. And not that they need to have sacks, but they need to move the pocket enough that there are errant throws, which you did see some, because the 49ers got 2 interceptions. First double interception game since 2024. They also got Upton Stout forcing a fumble on the goal line, ball landing right in Keon White's hands. So the turnovers are starting. Maybe they keep going. But one thing we can count on is that offense really putting points on the board. Let's see, 30-13, then get in there, Adrian. I don't know. I mean, yes, they have seen what they need to see from Mac. They know what they've got there, but yeah, it might be fun, but I think it's going to be Mac. It's the NFL. Raiders can beat the Chiefs. It's any given day. Absolutely. It's always any given Sunday. Purdy for 30. Um, would not be worried about you. Yeah, I mean, yes, the Saints beat the Panthers, but the Panthers can put up some points. Let's see. Yep. Salah is good. And yes, it could be a trap game. And now I know some people, Matt Mayoka does not believe in a trap game, but you look at the 49ers record and they've gone win, loss, win, first 3 wins, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win. So can they stay up? Can they stay focused? Can they stay so focused and make sure they don't have any missed assignments in this game against the Panthers? It's been such a roller coaster ride. So having a good performance, I don't know. If it's not the offense being injury depleted, it's the defense. Yeah, I mean, it's a violent sport. It is. It's just what it is. I mean, it's not just the 49ers. I think when you follow a team so closely, all you see is their injuries. Their injuries across the league, and there's so many. I mean, you look at the Arizona Cardinals injury list last week, and without Marvin Harrison again, um, their best wide receivers on IR. So, I mean, they're really, really depleted. And the Arizona Cardinals still put up 22 points. So, and they still put up almost 500 yards. 488 yards. That's a lot. And that was with Tatum Bethune in for most of the half. One thing I got to say about Curtis Robinson, he did not miss a tackle in that game at all. Um, yeah. Yes, Niners are favored by 6.5 is what I saw. Um, but yes, yeah, I know those win-loss games were that pretty. That's what I'm saying. The offense has to put up points so that they can have a bunch of wins in a row. And this is the stretch where they can do it. It is teams with losing records. It is teams that are, these are winnable games. For 49ers to make it into the postseason, for any team to make it in the postseason, they've got to win the winnable games. Now, Indianapolis is a really good team. That one's going to be a tough one. Seattle Seahawks, that one's going to be a really tough one too. They're playing really well. Um, I know they didn't have a great game. Sam Darnold didn't have a great game last week, but they're a good team. Let's see. Purdy has officer named Mac. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I mean, last week in Arizona was the first time the entire offense has been together since the first quarter of week one, because that's when Kittle went out with a hamstring injury. And then after that game, Brock went out. And then Brock came back. Ricky was there. No George Kittle. George Kittle comes back. Brock Purdy's out. So the first time they were all together was in Arizona. So I think there's a little rust. I think they're going to get better. I think they're going to um, get more in sync with each other, and that's going to be something that you're going to see. I think this offense could be really, really high powered. It could be really. I mean, I think there's always these moments, right? The best players at their game, at their position of their game. Like I never saw Michael Jordan play. I never s- did I, s- I saw Steve Young play. I didn't see Joe Montana play. I did see Jerry Rice play a little bit. But when you see the best players do what they do, Christian McCaffrey is one of them. So, if you're watching games, have just a little bit of extra appreciation for guys like Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle, who are arguably up in the top 10 of their position ever. Um, Steph Curry, watching Steph Curry, it's something that, you should do. Be aware of the greatness that is competing on the field or on the court, because these guys don't last forever. And, when they're in their prime, got to enjoy it. I'm like, I really enjoy watching Christian McCaffrey play. Just watching how he goes through gaps and how he finds his way and how he follows the blockers. And, watching Kyle Shanahan's offenses at times, you're just like, wow. I mean, the really well blocked plays, they're just fun to watch. So, when you've got the offense all together like this, just take a little moment to enjoy the offense when it's got all of its parts in it, because you don't get it all the time. Last year we didn't get to watch Christian McCaffrey because he was injured. We've missed George Kittle a little bit because he's been injured. So to have all of them out there, Trent Williams is feeling good. To have him out there, last year he was dealing with an ankle. So sometimes it's the defense, and you're just, you watch it and you're like, okay, it's Bosa, it's Warner, it's, all these players out there. I mean, that 2019 defense was so much fun to watch. I mean, it was fun to watch when it was DeForest Buckner and Eric Armstead too. So, yep. McCaffrey, if you look at Kyle Shanahan, he should be up for coach of the year. When you look at the injuries, if he keeps winning, to have this much success without so many of the players, the fact that George missed so many games, Brock missed so many games. Ricky Pearsall's been out, and they're still winning. You bring in Kendrick Bourne in week 2. He hasn't been on the field with the Niners in years, still without Brandon Aiyuk, and all the players that they have been without. No Debo, no Brandon Aiyuk. The players that have left. So you think about that and how many injuries are on the defense. If they can make it to the playoffs and make a run, Kyle Shanahan has to be in the running for Coach of the Year. So, all right. If you guys have any update with Brandon, not that I know. It sounded like on Monday when Kyle Shanahan spoke to us, they are not going to open the practice window for Brandon this week. So it's another week. And then on Monday, again, we'll ask if the practice window will get open. I would think even if they open the practice window for Brandon, it's got to be at least 2 weeks before he plays, as opposed to Ricky, who was just dealing with a knee injury. He was still very, very active in training camp. Brandon Ayuk hasn't played football since the middle of last year. Week 8 last year. It's week 12. It's a long time. There's no way Brandon Ayuk's practice window is open on Monday and he plays on Sunday. It's going to take a couple weeks for him to get back into the swing of things, feel right, build his connection with Brock Purdy. So it's going to be a little while. It's going to be a while. Ready after the bye week, potentially. Lynchahan. So yeah. All right, everybody. Hope you're well. I'll have another video for you tomorrow, Thursday after practice. I'm going to go up there and yeah. And you know what? Yes. What Lulu Gust says, Ayuk potentially out for the year. So if they get anything from him, it's found money, right? If Brandon Ayuk comes back and he plays in the last few weeks of the season, or he plays in the playoffs and he does well, I mean, I don't think they can count on him to do anything too much this year, but if he does come back, it's a bonus. So, um, if you missed the beginning, who is the new kicker? Matt Gay. He is, again, quick recap. He is 31 years old. He was drafted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the 5th round of 2019. He's been with Tampa Bay, Los Angeles Rams. He, 2021 Pro Bowler, as Cam Inman said, 2 field goals to send the Los Angeles Rams to the Super Bowl in 2021, wherein Jaquashki Tart dropped the interception in the middle of the field, but it wasn't all his fault. All right. Indy after that in 2023 and 2024, he was released from Washington Commanders, and the 49ers signed him. So we'll see how he goes. All right, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye.